Have you ever hated God? I mean, really hated him, especially being a woman of faith? See, this is something we really don't want to talk about, right? Because I didn't get a lot of, hallelujah, yeah, it's me. Nobody said that. It's something that we don't want to talk about. But I'm changing the narrative right now. Yes. Because we need to talk about it. See, I was raised in the church 30 years. I walked and talked and all the things with God. So when I lost my faith, it was embarrassing. It was something I didn't want to talk about. I was shamed. I actually didn't even want to talk about anything with my church. But God had a different story for me because he would use it later to be on the stage to talk to you today. That's how good he is. So I want to go down that journey with you. If you've been in that space where you've hated God, I want to tell you it's okay. We're going to have a conversation about that today. See, when we go through shameful things and we don't want to talk about them, we find those people, those secret people that we can go to, right? We all have maybe one or two. They say you're blessed if you have one or two. I had that. I had that with my Uncle Jimmy. Good old Uncle Jimmy. And so I would call him when I was going through really hard times. And more importantly, when I would be in his presence, he was good for a good old banana split. He knew how to, I actually have it in my house in Connecticut. He lives in Florida. He would scoop that sucker and plop it, and then put the hot fudge, and then do another scoop of ice cream, and then add more and more and more. And it was so, you could see, like, I was like, I can't contain this. But I did. He was that person. He always found the way. When I would visit him, he would have the Dove soap and the Caress soap on the bed, the little chocolate. He found the ways. We would play some good championship dominoes, and I won. I actually have the paper in my house. See, he was that person that no matter what I went through, he was that person. Just like the Lord. Just like the Lord would come and do those little things, right? We all have those moments where God met us. That was my uncle for me. But what happened was, in 2020, he passed. He passed, and I lost my best friend. And actually, his anniversary is October 13th. Very timely that I would be here speaking today. But the good thing is that he is looking down right now on this speech as I'm talking to you, using, just like God is using this right now to talk to you. So if you're angry at God and maybe you lost something, you lost someone, I'm here to tell you today, as a living, breathing testimony on this stage, that God sees you and you and you and you and you and you and everybody else. You're not alone in that anger. It's okay to be angry because God's going to use it later to bring glory. That's his word in John. In the scene of Lazarus, he talks about that. It says that Jesus wept. Just like Mary was angry, just like I was angry when God took my uncle. He had called me to leave my church of 30 years. COVID hit, we were isolated. I had all that going on. I was downright angry. How could you do this? Just like Mary, God, if you had been there, this wouldn't be going on. But he was right there. He saw me in my anger. He saw me in my frustration. I had walked and talked with him. I was a woman of faith. How could I have this feeling? So in 2020, I was supposed to inherit something from my uncle that I loved so dearly. We were best friends. I knew everything down to his underwear drawer. I had his Kangol hats that I wore thinking I was cute. I knew everything about that house. And he gifted that to me and my daughter because he loved us so much, and he wanted us to have that. When he died, I was told that same day that I was not inheriting anything. It was taken in that moment by a gentleman who didn't care for me, didn't trust me, and also from a lawyer who was representing that estate, that inheritance. See, there was another will that was admitted into the court, and my will that I thought I had that was valid was no longer valid in anybody's eyes. So you talk about being promised something. Have you ever been promised something that was ripped from your feet, right under your feet? That's where I was. I was in a place where I had lost all that stuff I described a couple minutes earlier, and now you're going to take the last thing from me, the last memorabilia, the last thing that I had from my uncle, the thing that I was holding on to. You're going to take that? How dare you, God? How dare you? So I got in my car. I didn't even know why. I thought I was a mental patient that needed to be put in the loony bin. Because I just got the urge the day after Christmas. Who would ever drive on the day after Christmas? I don't know. Me. Right here. God called me to go. I didn't even know it was him, but I knew I had to go. So I got in my car, and I drove 22 hours straight. I did not stop. I never drove to Florida, but I just went. I had stopped for gas, and that was about it. When I got there, I had entered into my uncle's house. It was home for me. He had a little radio, an old-fashioned radio that always played that really nice classical music. When I walked into the house, it was silent. I could hear the pin drop. My uncle wasn't there. The radio wasn't on. Somebody turned it off. I was alone, and I was angry, and I was frustrated, and everything I had in my hand was taken. I hated God. I hated him. And I didn't know how I was going to go through the next week of my life to pack up the toilet paper and the dish soap and everything that I was so pissed off that somebody else was going to get because it was supposed to be mine. And in my pettiness, I went through all the motions and I just stood there because I really couldn't take anything. So I packed up my car to the hill with all the things that you would be like, are you serious, Dustina? Did you really? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I used all of it up since the last 3 years. What I didn't know was that when God was in that house with me, he sent angels on the property. He did not forget that he marked me. Just like he marked you whenever you went through something, and maybe you're going through it right now. And I'm here to tell you today that he will get down on his knee with you when you are fist to the floor. Why? How could you? He sees all of it. And you know what is the best part about this? He loves you. That's what I want you to get today. He loves you. More than the anger, more than the frustration, he loves you. And he will not let you down. Say it now with me. He won't let me down. If you don't believe that, you're going to believe it by the time I'm done. I pray that for you. See, God sent the lawyer on the property on the very last day, 11:59:59, God. And I had the will in my car, and he saw the will. And it was in that moment that I felt the Jesus Goosies, and I felt God appear on the scene, and he met me. And as the story would go on, I went to fight a court battle, and God turned it around, and he actually gave me the inheritance back. So I want to leave you with something today. In 2014, God gave me a song. And I didn't even plan on singing this in this KIM10, but he gave it back to me, just like he gave me back that inheritance. And the lyrics say, he won't let you down. He won't let you down. He is faithful. He is faithful, yeah. He won't let you down. He won't let you down, 'cause he is faithful. He is faithful, yeah. Remember, he will not ever